Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rahak Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the Akim who tune into these videos. Alright, so in this video, I'm just going to go over a brief topic about how when people come by this word, not everybody's going to get this or adhere to it, or it's not going to stir anything in their minds, because we're only really out there for the hopeful elect. Even though, like it says in Habakkuk 2, like we're standing upon our watch, making these things plain upon tables so that everyone can see pretty much what's going on. Like we got those images and pictures to evoke those thought processes. But we understand that not everybody is going to adhere to the message that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is sending through his apostles and elders on down in this ministry. You know, those who teach this word for the healing of the nation to the so-called Black, Latinos, Native Americans who are the real Hebrew Israelites. Because, you know, through this doctrine, this gospel, you know, the ones who take heed to it and that they hold on to it, they're going to see and receive that gift of salvation. All right, so I want to start off by reading in Matthew 13, and I'm gonna go ahead and just start at the point in verse 9. It says, "Who hath who hath ears to hear, let him hear. And the disciples came and said unto him, Why speakest thou unto them in parables? And 11 says, He answered and said unto them, Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. For whosoever hath, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever hath not, from him shall be taken away even that he hath. Therefore speak I to them in parables, because they seeing see not, and hearing they hear not, neither do they understand." You know, because when you come into this ministry, you're pretty much born again as a new babe. And I think it was Nicodemus who didn't really understand that concept. And you could see that play every time we go out to the highways and hedges. You know, some brothers in this ministry, like I'm thinking about like the LA camp. That's a very big camp, and they hold camp pretty much, you know, almost every day throughout the week, because they have a lot of hands, you know, working that plow. And you know, their lot is very specific, because they're pushing out this message, this word, this gospel in a broader sense. You know, I'm thinking of in the state Texas and in the state of New York also. But then you have also brothers who are prophesying unto the wind. You know, that they're not speaking to anybody. But that's just because we're given the lot of a prophet, and some of us are going to have to go these certain routes and avenues. Like I was saying, some of us are going to be preaching to a whole bunch of people, newcomers coming into the truth, teaching them and building them up. But then some brothers, like I'm thinking of the elder brother Gabari Hawada from Hawaii, he's really only speaking to a bunch of people on that island of Hawaii. You know, and not many people really come up to him and take notes. You know, you only really see that in a broader state where there's a whole bunch of people. Yet his role is not diminished, because he's still fulfilling the role of a prophet. You know, whether he's in Hawaii or in New York, you know, we're all ultimately doing what we're supposed to do, because not only are we out there, we're preaching this to the highways and hedges, to the four corners of the earth, so that everybody can hear this thing. Well, that's the point, is that everybody has to hear this thing, because at that point, when they come across this truth, now they don't have an excuse, because this truth has been laid out to them. They've seen a path of righteousness, a path of straight and narrow and full of adversities. Yet if they disregard this message that they were given unto them, it is because they are lost, or they'd rather not go to the broad gate, or sorry, the straight and narrow gate, but rather stick to the broad gate. Like how it says in Ezekiel 9 and 4, is pretty much there's a mark of the law, a mark of exemption being put out to those who sigh and cry for the abominations that are done in the midst of the earth. You know, so if you come by to this word, you know, however it may be, you know, it's at that point where your life should start to change. But you know, to the mass majority of these people, they're not going to understand these things. It pretty much is a parable unto them, a stumbling block, because they'd rather you know, be spoon fed things, or they don't get it, or they want to mix something in from the world in this ministry, or however it may be, it's ultimately because it's only given unto us, the ones in this ministry who are actually working together. Like Yahweh Shai said to his left and his right, these are my family members, these are my brothers and sisters, my mother and my father. So when you come into this ministry, you come into a family. And you have to understand that, not like how the scriptures say, that not everybody's going to get this. And this is a cut to them Christians, because they think this message is for everybody, when this message is really only for the remnant of the nation of Israel, who are destined for salvation. Because when they hear this word, it's going to stir their minds, and they're actually going to work in this ministry. They're going to get that talent, which is symbolic for this truth, and they're going to flip it. They're going to utilize it, and they're going to expand upon it. And it's the scriptures say, that Yahweh Shai. I'll go and get it. This is in 1 Corinthians 3, verse 6. It says, I have planted, Apollos water, but the Most High gave the increase. So then neither is he that planteth anything, neither he that watereth, but the Most High that giveth the increase. Now he that planteth and he that watereth are one, and every man shall receive his own reward according to his own labor. So it's the Most High that gives this increase. It's not of ourselves, because if it was of ourselves, we would have saved who we decided to, but that's not up to us. Our lot is that we got this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and we're to prophesy just how the prophets of old did, like how Ezekiel did, how Jeremiah did. We're not supposed to divert from the plan that was given unto us from the Holy Scriptures. The Holy Spirit is what moves us to do these videos, and to make it to camp every time when we do it, like at the end of the weekend, or whatever time the brothers do it. This is all through the Spirit of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. But continuing on, I'm going to read verse 12. It says, for whosoever hath, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever hath not, for him shall be taken away, even that he hath. And you are going to have instances where a person in this ministry, I'm saying it as a person, because he's not a brother if he comes in this ministry and he leaves. Like it's equated to, he's given a talent, he's given this truth, and then the Spirit is pretty much seeing what is he going to do with it. And if he disregards it, puts it under a napkin, that spirit that was on him is going to be taken away from him, and it's going to be given to another brother. Because this ministry is of work, it's of labor. We're all working for that pretty penny. And that's why we're always pushing these epistles and go out there the highways and hedges, prophesying the downfall against Babylon. Prophesying against Mount Seir, but then also speaking to the remnant. That's why when we speak these videos, we're only worried about the remnant. We don't care about people who got one foot in the world still. But anyways, this is verse 13. It says, therefore speak I to them in parables, because they seeing see not, and hearing they hear not, neither do they understand. It's like it's pretty much a waste of time if you force the Spirit. Like, you're pretty much forcing the course of the river to a person who's not understanding. Like I said, it's not of you. It's of the Spirit of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, and it's right there where it's determined if this person is a profitable servant or not. And continuing on verse 14, it says, and in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which is Isaiah. And I got that precept right here. But this is going to how, like, in this ministry, we got the spirit of prophecy on us. So when a person comes by us and they disregard us, or whatever it may be, however it plays out, we fully understand that the scriptures are just playing out, and it's boosting up our faith, because that's a prophecy that's being fulfilled. In these last days, we're going to see all these prophecies, not just the ones that are spoken about in 2 Ezra 15 or Matthew 24, but all of them, specifically this one in Matthew 13. But it says, and this, as like it says, and in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which said, by hearing ye shall hear, and shall not understand, and seeing ye shall see, and shall not perceive. For this people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes they have closed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and should be converted, and I should heal them. Just like how in the first chapter of Proverbs, Wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets. How long, you simple ones, will you love simplicity? That's the 2/3 of the nation of Israel. They're going to continue it until the missiles fall, until the elect, the remnant, is going to be delivered, and then Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, is going to play out. They're going to say these are the ones. I'll go and get that real quick. Because this is a beautiful chapter. This is what we seek after. This is why we're actually in this ministry, because we want to be on the good side of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, and that these scriptures are speaking about us, of the hopeful elect. So this is Wisdom of Solomon 5 verse 1. It says, "Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him." And all those people who disregard us, pay us no mind or attention, they're afflicting us because it's as if we're wasting our time. But really, we're just fulfilling prophecy by letting them, get mad at us, or however it may be, just by fulfilling prophecy for them fulfilling the role of the 2/3. So and you best believe they afflict us with whatever it may be that they come at us. They say that we're fake, or our doctrine is false. They afflict us instead of admiring the work that we actually put in. But continuing on, it says, "And made no account of his labors." A lot of people think that we're just wasting our time. But verse 2 says, "When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they looked for. And they, repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, shall say within themselves, This was he whom we had sometimes in derision, and a proverb of reproach. We fools," says, "we fools accounted his life madness, and his end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the children of the Most High, and his lot is among the saints?" And you can continue reading this chapter. It's very beautiful. But just to get to the point about these 2/3, is that they're not going to adhere to this word, and that's beautiful, because ultimately, that's the prophecy speaking. And then right here, you got it here in Isaiah 6:9. It says, "And he said, Go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not, and see indeed, but perceive not." And verse 10 says, "Make the heart of this people fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, understand with their heart, and convert and be healed." Then said I, "Lord, how long?" And he answered, "Until the cities be wasted without inhabitant, and the houses without man, and the land be utterly desolated, and the Lord have removed men far away, and there be a great forsaking in the midst of the land." And that's playing out right now, because you got all these people, like and the scriptures say that if all of the nation of Israel were to point to the east, I believe it is, and we were all to praise Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, along that line of Israelites, you're going to have Israelites who think they're still Kemet, or they're still Americanized, Babylonianized. So that's out the picture. That's not going to be able to happen, because you got the nation of Israel as a whole in a downtrodden state, and only the remnant of the house of David are the only ones actually rehearsing these righteous acts. So we rejoice no matter what. If it's a bad thing or a good thing, however you may see it, we always say Barakatah Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. When a person is coming to this truth, or when a person is marked with like it says in Ezekiel 9:4, marked for judgment. We praise the Heavenly Father for being a minister of this word, so we can see this in action. All right, so this is 2 Corinthians 4, and I'm just going to start at verse 3. It says, "But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, in whom the God of this world, which is Esau Edom," it says, "hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Hamashiach should, who is the image of the Most High, should shine unto them." But they pretty much, the God of this world, which is Esau Edom, has blinded the minds of the people. They would rather listen to smooth things, rather listen to lies. They'd rather listen to the guy who's in charge of the world. When the scriptures speak about Job 9:24, it also says, "Never trust thine enemy." Yet, our people are simple. They're going to believe in Esau no matter what, even though we have it all plain upon tables, like it says in Habakkuk 2. But I want to read this in 1 Timothy 4, and I'll go ahead and start at the top. It says, "Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron." So this is the mindset you have to have when you're dealing with a person who's stiff-necked towards us. If they come to your camp and they just start raising their voice, speaking out of line, saying that we're wrong, he's right, or however it may play out, you have to understand that this individual, his mind is seared with a hot iron. So there's no convincing him. You could pull out all the pictures, the maps. You could spend 4 hours, but ultimately, how the scripture says that these people, their minds are seared with a hot iron, and they're pretty much marking themselves for judgment, like it says in Ezekiel 9:4. Because if they hear this word, they should understand that the trees are mourning, that the animals are mourning, that the people are mourning, because there's a wicked ruler in charge of the earth right now, and he's destroying it. But if they're not convinced of what we're saying, it's because the God of this world has blinded them, and it's pretty much their minds are seared with whatever mentality they have. That this man, he went on the moon. So at that point, you can't convince him otherwise. Alright, so anyways, this is 2nd Ezra 9:1, and it reads, "He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou shalt," like it says, "and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before," verse 2 says, "then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made." Because it's not just about having blind faith. It's because we actually see these things. We prove these things. We're like the Church of Berea. We actually go into the records and prove these things. And so you could tell when a person, they're not doing this. Because I remember before I came upon this truth, I was pretty much trying to figure things out, seeing if World War III was going to happen. All these crazy events are happening. And it pretty much, when it came time to it, I came upon this truth, and it all made sense. All the pieces started falling in places, because you ultimately, as a man of the Lord, you have to measure the time diligently to see these things, the signs and the times, in the sky. Knowing pretty much that we're in these last days. But the people in the world, they'd rather not do that. You bring up the news to a person, you bring up some facts about that venom that these Edomites try to push onto everybody. They start disregarding you. They shake their hands at you. But this is ultimately prophecy being played out. And this is Amos 5:10. It says, "They hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly." Because when we're out there in the highways and hedges, no one can really come against us. There shouldn't be any gainsayers or a person saying that we're wrong, because everything we say is actually factual. like I said, we're like the Church of Berea. We're not just out there lying. We're actually saying things that are true. But anyways, I want to read this last verse in Luke 17, verse 26, and it reads, "And as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man. They did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage, until the day of Noah entered into the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all." So all these people, just like in the days of Noah, we got the prophets out there, just how Noah was prophesying. They disregard us, and they continue to be in the house of mirth when they should be in the house of mourning. But then just as that how that played out, it's going to play out again, except with water. It's like instead of water, it's going to be with fire. And verse 28 says, "Likewise also, as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed." So this is what we're looking forward to. That's why we're measuring the times. And we understand that not everybody's going to make it. That there's going to be people eating and drinking, giving into marriage, walking that broad gate as opposed to the straight and narrow. Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. So that's the end of this video. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rachak Kodash. Shalom Akim.